Good morning, ninth grade.
Or good afternoon.
Or good
Or good night.
afternoon. Or
Is
good
it
night.
midnight? Is it 2 o'clock in the morning? You should be
Uh,
in sleep. You should be in bed. Okay.
Mr. Allen, you'd be surprised how many times when I check my email in the morning, I get notifications that so-and-so submitted at 1:30 in the morning,
Yeah.
3:30 in the morning.
Yeah. I mean, I would prefer that you guys turned stuff in when I was ready to grade, but you know what? If that's when you feel the need to work, I guess that's when you feel the need to work.
Some people are night owls.
Yeah.
Not high.
All right. Here we
All
go.
right. Here we go. Here we go. Here. Focus objective 19. I can use SLAM to reflect on a poem. Today we're using an acronym and a graphic organizer to help us reflect on the poem that you selected yesterday. Please take a mindful minute at some point during your day. If you'd like to pause the video now, you may do that. Otherwise, please make sure you find a couple moments at any point in your day to take a few breaths, ground yourself, find some stillness, focus on your breath, find some calm energy, and then approach the work when you're in the right space. So SLAM is an acronym for structure, language, affect, and meaning. We're not going to be working with this part up here, the S, the structure, because we don't have the actual transcript of the written poems. So we can't ask you to look at the things in this box, which have to do with the line breaks, the stanzas, the punctuation, the overall structure. So we're just going to work with lamb instead of slam. Okay, so the first part is focusing on the language in the poem that you chose. A for affect asks you to focus on the mood and the tone. And last, we have meaning. What is the subject of the poem? So what's the concept, the thing that the poem is mostly about? Is it a poem on inequality? Is it a poem on religion? Is it a poem on poverty?
Here are the lists of yesterday's titles. I Am a Man, Woman Card, War, Shots Fired, and I Am Not Black. For today's assignment, you will reflect on the poem you selected yesterday using the SLAM guidelines. Remember, we're skipping the S. You will see that in the document when you open it. It just has LAM. In your classroom, in Google Classroom, you'll find your own copy of the SLAM graphic organizer, the same way that you find every document that we work with. Steps. Listen to the poem. None of these poems are very long, and the assignment at the end is not asking for a ton of writing, but we are asking you to listen to these poems 3 times, okay? You only have to listen to the one that you picked, right? And you have to listen to it 3 times, all right? Look at the SLAM organizer and use the questions to help organize your responses. Please, guys, proofread your work before you submit. Capitalize the beginnings of sentences. Capitalize I when you use an I.
Yeah.
You're typing this directly into a document that checks your spelling and grammar as you go. If there's a red squiggly line under it, click on it.
Yeah.
See if you like the spelling it suggests better. Okay, so here's what it looks like. We've got our language with 3 simple questions. List 1 to 2 examples of figurative language, of sound devices, and of sensory language, also known as imagery. All right, and we got the affect. How does it affect you? How do you feel? That's the mood. How does the person speaking feel? That's the tone. And you can tell by their tone of voice. That's how they feel. And mood is how you feel. And finally, meaning. 4 simple questions that I'd like you to take your time with. What's the subject of the poem? What is the poem mainly about? Is there any symbolism in the poem? What's the deeper meaning of any symbols used? And then what's the central message or theme of the poem? This is going to be related to subject, but it's not the same thing. And finally, why is the title important and how does it set the context of the poem?
The questions that we have here are a little bit different. They're a little bit more specific than this basic rubric here, but Mr. Allen and I did not come up with this acronym. So this is credit from another source. So we changed it a little bit to reflect our style of teaching, but it is very similar to the SLAM rubric that you see in the top.
Okay, so that's it. Watch and listen to your poem 3 times. 3 times. While you're listening, you can have this document open. You can have this document open so that when you hear something important, you pause your video and you can just drop it right on in here. I heard him repeat that. That's an example of repetition. Where does that go? I really like that piece of imagery. I really like that figurative language. Where does that go? If you hear like, oh, I'm pretty sure I know what the subject is now, that's fine. Just drop it into this document and then listen to it again and then listen to it again.
You guys got this.
Thanks, everybody. I will be here. If it's not 1:30 p.m. on Thursday yet, then I will be in the Google Meet at 1:30 p.m. for help with this or any other ELA assignment.
Miss you guys.
Miss you. Be good.
Bye.
Bye.